page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, GBN channel 7, 11, and 20, and those of you always logged on, Classic 105.5, 105.9. Catching my breath. Good morning once again. It is the 27th of March 2020. It's Open Phone Line Fridays right here on To The Point. 435-2041 is the number to call and get on the inside. You can also pose your questions, queries, comments, concerns on the WhatsApp. It's also 435-2041. But please do not voice or video call the WhatsApp. We can't take those calls, but type in your questions, queries, comments, concerns, and I will relay them to our viewers and listeners. You can also post your questions, comments, queries, concerns on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. So let's open the phone lines. It is Open Phone Line Friday. Good morning.
Yes, my dear. I just want to open the line with the Word of God this morning.
Grateful.
I just want to share 2 verses, and it's from 2 Chronicles chapter 7.
Ms. J, just slow down the volume.
Pardon me?
Just turn down the volume so I'm getting a feedback.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm not getting it
my
again.
My phone, I have it on. I just move it.
Okay, yes.
Now, 2 Chronicles 7, verse 13 and 14. Also, sometimes we think that leaders have no role to play in the things of God in that nation. But that's not necessarily so. King David was a real man of God. He was the king of Israel. His son Solomon also became king, and he built a house for the Lord. Now, on the dedication, he made a dedication of the house, and he made some petition before God. He made some covenants with God. Talking about a king, a ruler. He made covenants with God. And after that was finished, God appeared to him in a dream. And one of the things that the Lord said to him, he says, if I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins, and I will heal the land. The condition is we have to humble ourselves, pray, seek his face, and turn from our wicked ways. Because you see, we have a pestilence right now. He said, if I send pestilence among my people, if they would pray and turn. And I believe in the church now, they might be praying, they might be seeking his face, they might be doing all that, but not turning. They turn in from the wicked ways that would activate God's hand to be stretched out, to forgive and to heal. So I am asking people who call by the name of Christ, humble yourself, pray, seek God's face, and turn. Give up the sins, give up the hatred, the malice, the pride. All these things, we may not be stealing people's things, or we may not be cursing bad words, or we may not be committing adultery or fornication, but you have hatred in your heart. You have somebody in your heart you wouldn't let go. Somebody do you something you wouldn't forgive. You perceive something about somebody and you shatter, you spread it, and all these things, and then you're going to lift up your hand and waving God and praising God and saying it goes nowhere, because it says with the heart, we cannot go to God with our own righteousness. In Romans it says, they being ignorant of God's righteousness are going about to establish their own righteousness, which is not according to the righteousness of God. So we can't play ourselves perfect before God with our own righteousness, what we think we are and who we think we are, full of pride. We have to humble, pray, seek his face. But if we don't turn, nothing will happen. God bless you, baby, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Jerry. You too. 435-2041 open phone line on To The Point. You can call on the landline. You can send in your written messages on the WhatsApp. It's also 435-2041. You can also message us on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. I need to verify. I need to verify the information as it relates to CXC and CPEA. And I'll do that as I take this call. Good morning.
Yes, Blossom, you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Blossom, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
I'm not really particularly happy what I observe going on. Because you're a young child, and I know where you're talking from. You don't know about these things. It ain't nothing new under the sun. Virus come, virus go, outbreak, disease, all kind of thing. I remember it had a time when Gary was Prime Minister. I think it was an outbreak of TB, tuberculosis. And also there was an outbreak of, not leptospirosis now, this thing, leprosy. I know what did he do? All man Jack. All ral. He quarantined them in quarantine station. That's where the name came from, because there was a leper center and they had all these different people there, whatever it is sick. You want to tell me? I listened to that press conference yesterday, and I'm not impressed at all. All they had to do, look, take all these people, whoever it is, you say you're a contact, screening or contact. I know about screening because they say how you have screening in the airport, but I know he had no screening in the airport because I know two people whose name I could call now could come forward and say that they had no screening in the airport. So they better not lie to people. What he used to do...
I don't think it... Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
You take them people and quarantine them and mandatory, even though you have to put police around them, because this is a health issue. That is what has been done in Barbados and Trinidad. You have places where people are quarantined, because you can't rely on people to self-quarantine themselves because they're breaking it. And when they're breaking it, they contaminated the area, they contaminated, and on top of that, so when you contaminate it, so you asking me, people hurting, Blossom, people going through a lot of strain, a lot of all kind of thing, and you have people outside that's spreading the virus. They're not handling the thing properly. Take these people and quarantine them. Don't close down the country.
Thank you.
And number two, what I'm trying to say, they talk about stimulus package and this and that, and Grenlex say one thing, and they say because I hear Keith Mitchell say what? About 3 months reduction, and Grenlex say how they wouldn't be cutting off people. So Keith Mitchell saying one thing, Grenlex saying a different thing. But what I'm going about the stimulus package, I have not heard anybody talk about what are them people that sell a little snow ice. A girl called me yesterday and she does do massaging. What about people who sell a little things, roti? You're hearing the stimulus package covering all these people. I'm sorry I could not get in contact with what's his name, Oliver Joseph, when he was there to ask him these things. These are the people, Blossom. It's not that I want to be alarmist or try to bring down the government. These people are hurting. Look at what the vendors say. You can't have a state of emergency. It's 1 o'clock for 1:30.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. It's unfair to say that they're not doing the screening. You do not have to see somebody doing screening to know that it's being done. As been highlighted by the health officials, there is a temperature equipment, I forgot the correct name of it, set up on the airport to detect elevated temperatures, which is one of the first symptoms of the coronavirus. So if you do not have a temperature and the camera sees that you don't have a temperature, you won't see the health officials coming to take you away to do physical screening. If they pick up the elevated temperature, then the relevant authorities will do what needs to be done to double check that passenger to ensure if they have the virus or to do what further screening and so on and so forth. But when we say they don't have, you don't have to see somebody physically standing up there with thermometers and the temperature thingy to know that the screening taking place. We keep saying what we want and we're not digesting and understanding what the authorities are saying. In relation to what I call small business owners, small proprietors, like you pointed out, these snow ice sellers and so on, The stimulus package, the regulations are put in place to restrict contact with one another. If I have to buy a snow ice, means I have to come in your shop and the snow ice has to leave your hand and get into mine. This is what we're trying to avoid. So we can't just say this, let's leave her to sell her snow ice to the neighborhood kids when we're trying to restrict contact. As the authorities have said, they would continue to review the regulations. This is something that they did not get forewarning for, so they didn't have months to plan on how to cover everybody in it. But as the Attorney General said yesterday on both Good Morning Grenada and To The Point, they will continue to review things as they go along to see how best everybody can be able to benefit while also restricting the spread of COVID-19. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm calling with a concern. There is a picture circulating on Facebook and on WhatsApp of a lady who is my cousin. I'm just telling you that I know the woman. Saying that this is the first lady that brought COVID to Grenada. Pass this picture around so people could know who she is. No, this is very irresponsible of Grenadians to be doing that. This woman works. Who she works with picks her up. Up to this morning, they pick her up and bring her to work. She has never been, I can't say she has never been. She hasn't been to England recently. Passing around an innocent woman picture, and even if the woman had the virus, and she was the first person, nobody has a right to circulate her picture. Because the virus could take any one of us. And would we like our picture to be circulated? Instead of protecting ourselves, we're doing damage to people, to people's family. This is so ridiculous. And whoever is doing that and passing it around, stop it. It's unfair to the woman's family. It's unfair to her neighbors. It's unfair to everybody. Stop it. It's an innocent woman. You're doing that to a humble woman who's trying to earn her living. She's not sick. And even if you all have no business circulating her picture. So, Blossom, I'm very angry about that. And whoever is doing that, let us be a responsible people, a responsible nation. And everybody just passing it around. Facebook, WhatsApp, the woman picture there. This is really, really not good. Blossom, have a nice day.
Thank you very much, caller. I have not seen that post or circulation of the picture, so I am, I guess it's not reaching as far and wide. But people continue to be irresponsible. I remember, was it about 2-3 weeks ago, there was a circulation of a picture attached to a gentleman from St. David's saying that he came from Trinidad with the virus with the intention to spread it around Grenada, and it was not true. And his lawyers had to intervene and put out an official statement saying, this is rumors and it's false. So people, I don't know their intentions behind it, but it can't be good, and I wish we would be more responsible. We have other things to focus on instead of inciting more anxiety and panic among our people. If we would only take our time to realize the damage that our idleness is causing, then a lot of these things would be stopped. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom. And how are you today?
I'm good.
All right. Concerning this COVID-19 business, I think when we look at this thing, there's no country or nation really prepared for this thing. This thing is a disaster and it's just taking over. But we have to do our best to try to control and observe and do our own safety. Now, when the word quarantine, it don't mean when you quarantine, you can't quarantine yourself home. Quarantine part of it means to take away from the public, from society, and bring them in an area specific, seal off, where no one can get there. And I try to use this as a time to educate some people in Grenada because I listen in all the time of what's going on and how they speak. So I want to explain to some people what it is. With this quarantine and leper settlement story going on. Quarantine is quarantine station. Leper settlement is a different place for itself. Leper settlement, if you know quarantine and Montrouge area good, there's a bay called Montrouge Bay. That separates leper settlement from quarantine. Leper settlement is where La Luna have all these villas there. That was where leper settlement was. That place closed the door in 1968. So they had 6 buildings before, and quarantine have its own. Unfortunately, I live in leper settlement for 13 years. Leper settlement was created by the British. Leper settlement, the last patient, the Sageri government couldn't take to manage that place, so they send them to Trinidad. Afterwards, they get the fire service and they made cocktail bombs and they shin it in every one of the building by building, to burn it for no one to get it there. Quarantine station is a place that was been there since in the World War time. But apparently my granny know about it. She died in 2019. That last year she died. And she died of 105. But apparently I know a lot of things because she grew with her mother, and I knew her mother, and she knew her grandmother, and all these things. So I have a lot of information I know. If you even go to quarantine now, the last stage of quarantine was with the soldiers. A lot of people, if you visit quarantine and you look well, you're going to see a grave there with a headstone, and it gives the years and everything, and the person name and everything. But a lot of people know. So quarantine is a different place. They even used to call quarantine in the first Goat Point. They used to call Montrouge in the bay, they used to call it Cocoa Bay or the Basin.
Okay.
Right? So there's a lot of information that people don't know about, so I want to clear there. These two places were two different places.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for that piece of education. WhatsApp, let me check. To the guys in Master Control, the Facebook feed has cut off as well as the YouTube channel, so if you can please check it out, so we can get the program back up and running on the platforms for the viewers who usually log on. There was a comment on the WhatsApp. If we pay attention to what is being said, we should know that no one would have to approach you and place thermometers in your mouths. Grenadian must sometimes learn to think and use common sense, although I know it is not very common these days. We continue to say we are a Christian nation. However, as Christians, to disobey the word of God, Romans 13, to submit to our laws of the land. We cannot, there's somebody still calling the WhatsApp. I can't take voice or video calls on the WhatsApp. Hi, I have a question. I'm a hairdresser. I rent a station. I still have to pay rent. Is there incentive for me? Because I have complied with closing, but I still need to pay rent. Someone told me they have incentives for small business owners. You may have to check out the bank, GDB, Development Bank, I believe it is, that has a program for small business owners. To pay the rent, maybe some kind of moratorium, as the banks use, can be, put in place for you because business is not operating. There are a number of businesses who have closed their doors and have stopped taking, rent and so on. So maybe you can work it out with the salon owner, or just in case, just check out the Ministry of Finance and they can guide you accordingly, or GDB. Wow. Okay. Let me read this one. Let me go back by the phone lines. Good morning.
Yes, great. Good morning, Citizen Welsh. Greetings. How are you?
I'm good, Citizen Ronald. How are you?
There are so many things to talk about in this here country. But anyway, bad spirit. I'm happy that you're enlightening the people of the difference between quarantine station and its purpose and so on and the leper settlement, because people continue to make that big mistake. But let's go to the meat of the matter, Citizen Welsh. I first would like to salute the brothers and sisters Grenadians who are, by obligation through their job, have to face the brunt of this pending plague, demonic plague, that with no doubt has struck us. I salute the police officers. I was informed reliably, and I hope so by this, because I make my inquiries, that they're well equipped. We've been hearing stories about people in other countries, police officers who are passing away, dying as a result of contamination in the execution of their duty. I don't want to see that happen in this little country. So I'm happy, as far as I'm concerned, I'm being informed that the police are well equipped with the necessary, as it is termed, PPEs, personal protection equipment. I salute the nurses. I salute the doctors. I salute all the people at Immigration and Customs, all the people on the front line of this battle. And by the way, should I inform you, lest you're not aware, the battle hasn't really yet started. There's much more to come. So greetings to you, and I call upon the Grenadian people to look out for these people. We should go as far as to the people who are keeping the supermarkets open to keep us alive with food and otherwise. Salute to you all. Salutations to you all. Do protect yourself. I wish to say this clearly. I call on you, as heroes of this country, to guarantee that you are well protected. And if you are in any way obligated to work without the necessary protection, defy, challenge them, walk away, because you have to protect yourself first. To move on a little faster, Citizen Welsh, I wish to express my concern of the wisdom of the authorities, of the so-called authorities of this here country, to deny the people of this country knowledge of where the cases, or the current cases, existing cases, are in the little island, or the island territory. I think it is in the best interest of the people to know where it is, so that they too can protect themselves. Citizen Welsh, someone hinted it prior, and I think it's important. People with these conditions should be isolated. How can you tell me that you're isolating a person in their home, in a village? That's not isolation, for Christ's sake. We have seen this thing jump from 1 person to 6. And I assure you, brothers and sisters, I'm not being alarmist, I'm just speaking the truth. The next time you hear the readout figures, it shall be much more, probably 1,000 times. No, 600, no, it shall be more. So protect yourself, brothers and sisters. I call on the brothers and sisters who continue to make these foolish moves of getting together in groups to desist, because you're putting yourself at risk, you're putting other people at risk, innocent people. It is time that we understand that this thing is no joke. It's killing people. Take a look at what happened in the United States in less time than another. Look at what has happened in the United Kingdom as to the Prime Minister's gone down with. Be careful, brothers and sisters. Protect yourself. Listen, there's so many things to talk about, Citizen Welsh. But I wish the government would reconsider their position. And finally, should I say, we have heard the head of the you called it again, the WHO clamoring to the world, and he used these words: "You can't fight a battle blindfolded," like me, and worse. And he said these words: test. Why aren't we testing the people? How can you know what is happening if you don't test? In mechanics, you have to test. Whatever in science, you have to test. If you don't test, how can you know? Okay. So we have to move on that immediately. And finally, there's something always coming. But I will close here, Citizen Welsh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Citizen Rolo. On that note, let's take a very quick break. No, I don't want to forget again. While I understand people's concerns about the confirmed cases not sticking to the quarantine, I put my questions as to why it's not happening on the family and not the government. I don't understand why we want to blame the government for not ensuring that grown people do what they need to do. The onus is on the infected. Yes, we can trust them, but at the same time, we should insist that the government does this and does that when the onus is on these people to keep themselves quiet. Like, whether you're infected or not, you should be self-isolated at home. You should be quarantined at home. So why should we blame the government because they can't get 110,000 people to behave themselves? As grown people, and I'm not talking about the children who probably just want to go outside and play. I'm talking about grown people. If grown people can't stick to the rules, then why are we blaming other people because the grown people can't stick to the rules? Whether you're infected or not, you knew you were around someone who became Grenada's first confirmed case, patient 0. You're gone out and roaming and walking on the road. Who to blame? The government? No, it's you that can't keep yourself quiet. Sorry, I getting emotional because it's annoying and it's angering me that we are saying, why the government have them home? They're not staying home. They should put them lock up in a quarantine station. Why, when the grown people know they should just lock their door and sit on inside and keep their cozy cool? Let me take a break before I start to get more vexed. This is To The Point on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back after the break.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Coughs and sneezes spread diseases. So cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands.